Hello, this is Terry from Generically Yours, and today I'm doing a mini project to help Social Repose celebrate his hitting 1 frickin' million subscribers on YouTube. And as a proud mothling of the Whisper, I'm very happy that I was there to witness that. So I'm going to be repainting this Spider-Gwen figure that I found as I was walking out of work the other day. The only thing is, I had to do a little bit of surgery because Spider-Gwen is a girl and has boobs, and Richie's a boy and does not have boobs. So I had to chop them off. But then after that, I decided to go ahead and paint the whole thing black because I figured as a primer it'd be better because I was afraid that the pink around her eyes, if I was to just go ahead and paint white over the face, that the pink would bleed through. And pink is not exactly the color of the blood of your enemies, so it wouldn't match at all. It just wouldn't look right. So I decided to go ahead and do the black primer. But as you can see, I'm going ahead and I'm painting the face now. I did decide to, when I looked at it, to kind of reshape the eyes a little bit and make them a little bit more round because Spider-Gwen's eyes were a little bit more elongated. And I wanted to make sure that they look more like Richie's eyes because of the roundness of the scleras. So I did go over them and I reshaped them just a little bit so they're a little bit more rounded. And going back to celebrating Richie's 1 million subscribers, I remember when I saw my very first ever Social Repose video. The moment that changed my life. In all fairness, it was a friend that showed it to me back in, I think, early 2015. I think it was the 13 alternative artists that he was impersonating or something. But I remember watching this, and of course, the first time you ever see Richie's outfit, I don't know what you guys thought, but my first thought was, it's really odd, but I love it. Because I like drawing things that are dark, fantastical, mythical, otherworldly, all that kind of stuff. So when I saw him, I'm like, this is my shit. And of course, not to mention the frickin' voice is amazing. The amount of passion that he pours into it is phenomenal. And being an artist myself, I can totally relate to the passion thing because when I get knee deep into a project, that's all I see. I eat, sleep, breathe project. And I can go like work, home, project, and sleep, and then rinse and repeat. I can go nonstop and work just on that project. The one that you're watching right now, the footage alone said that I had about 2.5 hours worth of footage of me doing this. And that was pretty much straight footage, except for like maybe a bathroom break. And that's just how I am. And when he talks about, how he pours his passion into it and he works long days nonstop of, doing what he loves, I totally get it. And to me, I really enjoy, like drawing, painting, doing all these Social Repose projects because he's so inspirational to me. Because he suffers from depression. He doesn't hide the fact, but he pushes through it. And he creates so many awe-inspiring things and visuals and just art. And it's like, if he can do this, suffering from depression and everything else he has to deal with, then I can do it. When I watched that first video, I never would have thought that that man I was watching on that little computer screen was going to be inspiring me as much as he is now. If any of you guys follow me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you might have seen some pictures of me before and after. Like recently I decided to go ahead and make myself happy. Because growing up, I always wanted to dress more what Richie calls it, alternative, like darker clothes, pulling from like emo, goth, that kind of stuff. But of course, growing up, I was always bigger. I was always overweight. So I always heard, oh, fat girls don't dress that way. So as I watched Richie, I also realized he has a motto of, I don't give a fuck. And he's mentioned it in a few of his videos. And I also realized, if he can go out into public wearing his outfit and not give any shits as to, like what people are thinking of him because he's happy and he enjoys wearing it, then maybe I can too. So last year, I turned 30. I looked at myself and I said, you know what? I've always wanted to dress that way. I've always liked darker clothing. Screw it. I'm gonna do it. And Richie was part of the inspiration to finally giving me that extra oomph that I needed to be like I said, if he can do it, I can do it. If, he can go out and feathers and black and leather and all this face paint, then I definitely can be myself and make myself happy. Like I said, all these social repose projects, it's because I enjoy it. So if you see a whole bunch of them coming out from me, just know that for that moment when I was doing that project, I was happy. I was able to draw or create something of somebody that has done a lot for me, has helped me through hard days. And it's something that means a lot to me. Same goes for if you see me draw Harry Potter stuff. That's why if you follow me on Instagram, I did the crossover between Social Repose and Harry Potter because those are my two things. They are the two things that mean the most to me in my life. Harry Potter has been there for me. It has given me the joy of reading when I used to hate it. It's helped me introduce me to friends. It's helped me reach, milestones with my art because like drawing it and practicing different styles has really increased my ability to draw. Drawing something that I love always does that for me. And I do get that when I draw Harry Potter and Social Repose. Okay, going back to this, what I'm doing now is I am making the little Sith cloak or his Shroud of Darkness. I did that by taking a piece of paper towel and cutting it very, very tiny. And then I was trying to see where the arms were. And I cut tiny little slits so I could put it over the shoulders and tuck it kind of around the shoulders and then glue it in place. So there's the little slits, and you're seeing me kind of like, yeah, tweezers were definitely needed because I could not get my fat little fingers into that little tiny space. But then I painted it black because, branding, need black. So, I painted it, let it kind of dry. Again, big on the tweezers, needed tweezers for this whole project because it was so tiny. So here you can see me trying to get it in place. It took a couple tries because it was like really, really tiny. I'm good with delicate projects, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I need a little bit of help when I have, like the bigger fingers. So I poked them in place, and then yeah, in a second you'll see how I took a little bit of paint off with the back end of my paintbrush, and I like smeared it in place, and I used the tweezers to kind of fold it in place and glue it down so that it's like little armholes. And then what I'm doing is adding in the extra detail of like the rips and tears along the edges of the little Sith cloak. And you know, when I saw this little figure on the ground on the way out, I glanced at it and I couldn't help but think, gee, that looks an awful lot like our dear Gothmoth. Especially in his little frickin' cloak thing, like when he's just wearing that. So, of course I snatched it up. I couldn't help myself. Here I'm doing some touch-ups because the paint was a little bit touchy, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. It's like I would just barely touch it and it would like chip off a little bit, so I'd have to do some touch-ups. My paint isn't necessarily the greatest paint. It's very, very old. And somebody pointed out to me on Instagram that if I would have added more water to the white, it would have worked a little bit better. I'm going to try that next time because I don't want to waste the paint because I don't have necessarily a lot of money to replace all my paint. But I know the white paint is several years old and it's kind of like gloopy. So I'm going to try that next time. So if anybody watching this was the person that told me to try that, thank you, and do know that I will be trying it. I hope that it helps. So here I'm painting on, I believe it's the, yes, like the eyeshadow that Richie wears. I did a very, very light gray wash and did it right over top of the eye. And I know you can't really see it in this video that well, but his two little hands, the hand that has the claw on it, I actually did paint the back of the hand black. It's just one of those tiny little details that, you know, I like to include. Okay, there's the before. That's what it did look like. And there's the after. So thank you for watching, and a big congrats going out to Richie of Social Repose on his 1 million subscribers. Here's hoping your channel keeps growing because you frickin' deserve it. And if you haven't watched any of his videos in a while, go give him some views. Go give him some likes. He deserves it. He pours his passion into it, guys. So by all means, go share a video, watch a video, do something. And maybe we can help him get to 2 million. But thank you for watching. And let me know in the comments below if there's anything else that you think I should cover. And have a good one.